Big question from many. Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
We did. It's running great.
So yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting video to say the least. We've got a bunch of Starfield news and updates to go over, including a brand new interview with Todd Howard, but this time also Phil Spencer. You're going to want to see this one for sure. And there's a huge Starfield feature that no one seems to be talking about. Well, we're going to talk about it today. Also, Todd Howard says this one thing about Starfield might not be for everyone. It might surprise you. Also, we have a sad attempt to try to get a PlayStation game dev fired, I kid you not, over playing Starfield, which of course is an Xbox exclusive, and the game hit a huge milestone, but there's something strange going on here. Why has this happened? And will improve over time. Also, we have some major tips for space battles and shipbuilding you do not want to miss. And by the way, you've got to check out this incredible custom Starfield PC that Skytech Gaming, Intel, and Signal RGB are giving away. Now, this PC was built by Skytech Gaming team, and it really captures that NASA punk feel from Starfield. It also has 6 indicator lights that react to your in-game stats, I kid you not. So if a stat hits below 50%, for example, then the corresponding indicator on the PC will pulse red. How cool is that? This is made possible with Signal RGB application, which syncs RGB devices from any brand. Now, the PC also has custom control panels at the bottom, but believe it or not, these are actually 2 Stream Decks with custom knobs and icons, so they're actually fully functional. And wait until you hear what's on the inside of this beautiful machine. This PC is powered by the latest generation Intel i7 13700K processor and 7900 XTX graphics card, so you'll be playing Starfield with high frame rates and performance. And by the way, yes, the hardware can be easily accessed for servicing by pulling off the screen. So what are you waiting for? Enter the contest now by clicking the link in the description below for a chance to win this incredible PC. And a huge thanks to Skytech Gaming, Intel, and Signal RGB for sponsoring this video and believing in my channel here at Open World Games. All right, so let's get into the news, shall we? We're going to start out with, yes, this headline right here. Todd Howard asked on air why Bethesda didn't optimize Starfield for PC. We did. You may need to upgrade your PC. So yeah, let's dive into this further, shall we? And scroll on down into this article from PCGamer.com. It goes on to say this: Bethesda Todd Howard and Xbox head Phil Spencer have been on the interview circuit for launch of Starfield, as part of which the pair granted an interview to Bloomberg Technology. While the questions have a more general business focus and veer into things like Game Pass and The Elder Scrolls 6, no new info by the way, the show starts with Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow rather starkly putting an audience question to Howard: why did you not optimize this game for PC? And Howard responded saying, we did. And Phil Spencer fails to suppress a chuckle, by the way. It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game. But it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome. So, you know, I thought that was like a legitimate response. This is like a fresh Bethesda game, and it's definitely not the same visuals as, you know, even like Fallout 4 or Skyrim. There's definitely a bump here in visuals. That's not to say, of course, that they don't need to optimize the PC version further. Now, it goes on to say this: Starfield is, of course, a very Bethesda game. The studio's senior types have recently been wrestling at the notion it ships buggy or poorly optimized games. But the thing is, there's a reason that reputation lands. Sure enough, Starfield's early days have seen players enjoying plenty of quirkier aspects to the space lifestyle, including crew members riding on the outside of ships in deep space and persuasion minigames interrupted by combat. Even so, upgrade your PC is probably the answer that question deserved. Do you guys agree or not? Now, yeah, mentioning the PC performance issue, there was actually a Reddit thread, this one right here. Can we please be louder about the subpar NVIDIA performance? This one comes from Ubasha, who says, I know so many people are loving this game, and that's great. I find it quite fun myself. However, my frame rate is really, really bad and ruining my experience and the experience of countless others. There's no need for game runs fine for me comments. Just understand that this game isn't fine for so many others. So yeah, it seems like there's quite a bit of you that are having problems with the PC performance. Let me know if that's you or not. However, I did want to highlight some things you could do right now, of course. Check this out right here on Twitter. It says this: the Starfield DLSS 3 mod is legit, getting a 65% boost, 1440p Ultra on an RTX 4090 13900KS. You can see the significant difference there, of course, with the FPS. Now, there's also a performance mod that I myself am using. That's the one that made the most difference for me. I'm throwing those links in the description below, just in case if you guys need those. And then we have yet another question for Todd Howard and an answer. Check it out right here. It says, Bloomberg audience question, why are there no vehicles on planets? The answer was this: once you do vehicles, it does change the gameplay. It lets us really know how fast the players are seeing things. You do have a ship and a jetpack, which you can upgrade, which is super fun. But is the jetpack enough for you all? That's my question. Or do you really want to see ground vehicles in the future? Something like the Mako. Now, we have some responses about this one. Check it out from Star Potato, who says, I think people have a strong misconception of the goal of this game. It's not about getting to stuff faster or moving faster. Though there are options to help this, their vision was a slower yet realistic space RPG game, but hopefully mechs make a return. Now, that would be very cool to see. Going from jetpacks to mechs, I can see that making a lot of sense. There have been some like signs of mechs, of course, around Starfield's universe, and it would be really cool, in my opinion, to see that as a fully functional type vehicle in the future. I just feel like it would be kind of like an extension to jetpacks in a very, very cool way. Now, also, we have this one right here. KD says, yeah, not to mention the added stress to the engine to load in assets to keep up with the new top pace of movement by the player. Makes sense to me. That said, I do hope we get some sort of rover DLC that's just marginally faster, but slow enough to not break the game. So that's always an option as well. It would be cool to have like another vehicle that adds another option for storage. I think that would be neat to have. That's one reason why I personally would love to see a vehicle. Now, we're talking about the creation engine, of course, keeping up with streaming very quickly. But mentioning that, check it out right here. It says, Starfield, the creation engine evolves to deliver massive ambition, scale, and scope. The Digital Foundry Tech Review. So here we have some actual compliments about what they pulled off with the creation engine. And I've asked you guys, based on, opinions and what has been said by the community, do you think they should keep the creation engine going forward, or do you think they need something entirely new? Again, I'm throwing that to you guys, sound off. But yeah, I want to highlight one of the most important parts of the engine, of any game engine, at least in my opinion. Something that I always look forward to, or look for, I should say. Check it out. It says, Starfield also has a new global illumination solution that seeks to accurately render light bounce. For example, rocks may take on an orange hue as the sun bounces off similarly colored soil, or you may know a star radiating blue light, suddenly illuminating the surface of a nearby moon. So for me personally, I first and foremost look for that global illumination, and it makes the game so much better with that type of lighting engine. So that's one of the biggest improvements for me personally with the creation engine. All right, so next up we have this one right here. Jwood 2010 says, Todd Howard confirms mods will be available for Starfield next year. They will be playable on both PC and Xbox, by the way. Mods, you can do almost anything like the previous works. Mod support will come next year, but we love it, so we'll do it in a big way. So that's exciting news for Starfield as well. But we got to get into the numbers, what's going on today. Yeah, Starfield is now officially launched. We are way beyond early access, of course, so check it out right here. It is trending upward just behind Baldur's Gate 3, and we have an announcement from Phil Spencer, who says this: Starfield exceeded 1 million concurrent players across all platforms today, thanks to all the players who helped us reach this great milestone, and congrats to Bethesda Studios. This is huge, and you can see all the scores right here. Seems to me, that people overall are enjoying the game. Now, interestingly, despite this, someone did some investigating, some strange things going on here. Check it out right here. It says, from Dreamwalker, interesting observation. Starfield peak players at full launch today was roughly the same as early access launch. September 1st was 234,000 concurrent players on Steam, and September 6th saw 250,000 concurrent players. And then it says, with an existing player base, you'd expect a much higher increase than 7%. Interesting. So yeah, you do have to consider that people are working, they're also busy, but there is another wrinkle to this. I think a lot of people are still absolutely hooked right now to, of course, Baldur's Gate 3, which actually has more concurrent players right now in it, which blows me away considering that is a turn-based game. I thought having it turn-based would totally throw people off and they would not want to actually invest the time in it. Now, Starfield is a very different game. It seems like it's catered to a different audience, more action-oriented for sure, at least in my mind with the real-time action. Now, you have to look to games also like Cyberpunk, which ultimately saw an all-time peak of over 1 million players, which is definitely interesting. I don't know if Starfield will be able to reach that point or not. We'll have to wait and see. Again, the weekend is going to be the ultimate test here. Also, we have Dextera who says, that's why Baldur's Gate 3 is by far the game of the effing decade. Shroud compared Starfield to Baldur's Gate 3. Take a listen and let me know if you guys agree or not.
Like, if you're trying to be like, oh, I want to do it this way, chances are you can't do it that way, right? That's why Baldur's Gate 3, that's why Baldur's Gate 3 is by far the game of the decade, because that game is truly like, oh, like, you want to do it that way? Yes, do it that way. I only ran into, I think, 2 occasions in my 80 hours of Baldur's Gate where I said, oh, I want to do it this way. Oh, I can't. 2. I only had 2 situations where that happened. Every other time, I was like, oh, I really want to do it this way. Well, guess what? You can. That game, Baldur's Gate 3, it takes the choice of video games and surpasses everything I've ever played.
I am so curious to see what your guys' take is on this one. But yeah, we do have some opinions. Check it out. It says, listen, I use this GIF in the way that it's his opinion and it's okay for him to feel this way. You don't need to make a big deal out of it. Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. Starfield is amazing. Gamers are eating good right now. This is manufactured drama. Do you guys agree or not? You know, I think so. Again, to each their own. I think they're very different flavors, I suppose you would say, in terms of gameplay style, and they offer their own thing. And yeah, I'm going to be playing the hell out of both of them. There's so much to do in both these games. It's almost overwhelming. Also, we have this one. GTA 5 is the game of the decade. Whoa, do you agree with that or not? And a counter, that's incorrect. Elden Ring is. Also, we have 2 completely different cells bases. I love D&D, but no way in hell is Baldur's Gate better than Starfield. The action alone beats Baldur's Gate 3. But again, you know, some people like the turn-based feel of Baldur's Gate 3. To be able to focus up and have that time to strategize. That's something that I personally love about Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, different flavors, different styles of gameplay for everyone. Now, also, we got to talk about something very crazy, I suppose you would say, related to Starfield. Check it out right here. This one comes from J-Rock. He says, wanting her fired for playing Starfield is wild, not gonna lie. Take a listen to Alana Pierce has to say right here.
A particularly upstanding citizen of the internet here tweeted this in response to me playing Starfield. They said, Alana Pierce should be fired for promoting Xbox games on a public platform like this. Extremely unprofessional and demonstrates a lack of loyalty and seriousness to PlayStation, her employer, at Herman Holst, at Corey Pollock. Which, as an aside, Corey and I spent about 10 minutes before a meeting today talking about the stuff we were doing in Starfield and how much we were enjoying it. So good luck with that one. I'm also quite confident that if I DM'd Herman and were like, hey, how are you liking Starfield? He'd be like, it's great.
So if you don't know, Alana Pierce actually works for Santa Monica Studios as a writer right now. Of course, they are very much a PlayStation studio. And to see that someone out there is trying to get her fired over liking a Microsoft exclusive is just ridiculous to me. Yes, you do see executives and people that actually work for Microsoft or Sony or even Nintendo playing the competitors, games and checking them out because I think they themselves are curious and also enjoy gaming overall. That's why they're in the industry. Also, yeah, we have this one right here. Check it out. It says, someone has created a Starfield mod that replaces the Bethesda splash screen with the PlayStation Studios one. I kid you not. Check it out right here. So if you're absolutely desperate, you can have this pop up before you play some Starfield. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. But anyway, yeah, you gotta love PlayStation. You gotta love Microsoft. I love them all. That's just how I am. And Nintendo. Throw Nintendo in there as well. But yeah, we got to head on over to Forbes because they have this highlight right here. This headline, I should say. Starfield has secret legendary ship battles to find. Some of you may actually not know about this. Let's scroll on down and talk a little bit about it. It says, if there's one thing I've kept saying over and over during my 130 plus hours of Starfield so far is I've never seen that before. The game keeps surprising me. And while I aim to keep its story secrets under wraps, this one I have to share. It turns out there are legendary ship battles in Starfield, mega ships that are easily the hardest dogfights in the game. I stumbled across one completely by accident yesterday, and I know there's at least one more from a different faction. Now, I gotta ask you guys, have you stumbled into these legendary ships? If you have, by all means, send me in some gameplay of what you have discovered. I'll throw the link in the description below. So if you do want to submit your gameplay and findings, whatever it is, base building, ship building, character creation, go for it, funny moments, what have you, I will highlight your gameplay with full credit to you, of course. Yeah, let's get back into this. It says right here, I warped into the Nira system, saw a simple ship icon, and flew over to it. What I was greeted with was something I can only describe as an enormous Varan Star Destroyer. It was called the Shroud Bearer, something no other Varan ship has ever been named, indicating how unique it was. On my hard difficulty playthrough, it was only level 45, but don't let that fool you. Okay, all right, let's keep scrolling down. So it says the ship appeared not to be hostile. You could fly around it, and it and its support ships would not attack you, but you couldn't dock. So I said, I want that ship, and opened fire on its engines and boarded. Now, I also discovered you cannot board the ship after learning this and dying several times. He says the ship has probably a dozen different gun turrets, plus its 3 support ships are level 30 through 50 and can kill you by themselves as you're fighting the main ship. My best fighting ship is the Crimson Fleet flagship I stole, but even then I kept dying. So I'm kind of curious to see if you guys take this ship on. It sounds like it's going to be quite a battle if you do decide to actually take it on. And yeah, it seems like it's going to be quite the end game accomplishment if you actually run into these ships and destroy them. Now, mentioning ships and ship battles, check it out right here. Dr. Disrespect has actually been busy in Starfield. He goes on to say this: space combat in Starfield is super fun. And as you can see right here, he's somewhat struggling with the ship warfare. I found this clip to be quite funny. He might need to actually upgrade his ship a little bit more. He does mention some of the control issues that he does have there. But yeah, very big space combat tip for you, and shipbuilding tip as well from Clint Mavin Evans, who says, I didn't realize I could stack multiple of the same weapon module till 80 hours of gameplay. I just thought crap was tanky because I was on very hard. Nope, I just had it in my head. You can only have one laser, one cannon, one missile. I'm not very intelligent. And Dr. Disrespect responded saying, I don't even know what you just said. And we have more replies. Get this. It says, from Nerf, when you are building your ship, you have 3 active weapon groups. You can put as many weapons into each group as you want. Ship power will allow. You can literally put 6 of the same lasers on your ship at once and group them all together. Game doesn't tell you this anywhere. So a huge tip right there, invaluable tip for ship combat. Overall though, what did Dr. Disrespect think about Starfield? He says this right here: I love Starfield. So it seems like he has a stamp of approval on Starfield so far. But Todd Howard also did mention something that some players might actually not like, and it might seem divisive for sure. It says, Todd Howard believes Starfield's endings may not be for everyone. We ask a lot of questions. We don't provide a lot of answers because I think we want a lot of those answers to be in you. I thought that was so well said. As I went through the game, I myself found it to be more about the journey, and then there are more finite endings through the side quests and faction missions, which I do appreciate. If those weren't there, then I think I might have a bit more complaints about the ending. But overall, I feel like there is this mystery to the ending that also fits very well with the theme of the universe, that it is a mystery. Next up, we have Blurbs, who says this right here. My biggest discovery in Starfield. Yeah, if we scroll down here, we can see how, yeah, if you prop open the toilets with other props, I guess you would say, you can discover, guess what? There's some hidden items within. In this case, I believe it was some sort of weapon. But try it out, see what you can discover in the toilets. Kind of curious. Now, the Act Man also highlighted that they brought back the voice actor of the Imperial Guards from Oblivion, and he's in Starfield, so look out for him. I thought that was a really cool nostalgic moment there, a nod to the past, to Bethesda for sure. And then, yes, we got to talk about what's going on here. A very unique way of stealing lots of credits. Let's full screen this. As you can see, he has literally put all of the credit sticks here. He scoots them over into a bucket. People getting very creative here. This does not trigger the game saying that, hey, oh, he is stealing stuff. And then he goes on to take it out of the area where no one can see what he is doing. And yeah, he manages to bank all of them without any issue whatsoever. But yeah, I talked about Starfield Legos. Yeah, we got to take a look at this. Updated Lego Frontier. And if we full screen it, you can see how beautiful it is. I love the Lego builds, you know. There's something about Starfield and Legos that just fits so very well together. He even put it through the warp drive, or the grav drive, I guess you would say. But yeah, beautiful job right there. This one is actually from Martian Buddy 3, and you can see the amount of detail he has put into this one. He also even has a working weapon station in his ship. Impressive detail, and a working ladder. I just freaking love that so much. Now, also, we have the by AI unbeatable ship. They shoot through the middle. There's some really wacky, I guess, flyable, still flying ship designs there. And take chances, make mistakes, get messy. Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus Ship Build right there. Freaking love it. It looks beautiful. Yeah, send your gameplay clips in. Send your ship designs in that description below. Follow the link. I'll try to also pin it as a top comment as well. But yeah, mentioning top comments, let's get into your top comments from my previous video, which was this one right here. Starfield, yes, this just happened. Todd Howard's new responses, expansions, DLC, and Elder Scrolls 6. If you missed that video, by all means, check it out. But let's get in to see what you guys had to say about this one for sure. So let's do it. We have this right here from Ben Ferris, who says this: not the craziest thing that's happened in the game for me so far, but I got an insane amount of enjoyment from at least seemingly random space encounter with a ship that was trying to reach me about my ship's extended warranty. Extremely relatable and immersive moment. Freaking love it. Man, you know what? The devs must have had a blast with that one. Then we have Gummy Bear 1993, who says, my weird Starfield experience. A random spacer ship landed not far from where I had landed, so I decided to go check it out. Upon arriving, there were spacers in the entrance of the ship, so I killed them. Went in and started looting. Let's expand this. While looting, I noticed the door began to close, and the first thing that came to mind is I need to get in the ship ASAP. Before I could enter the ship, my character began bouncing around uncontrollably as the ship was leaving the planet. Before reaching the atmosphere, I fell through the floor of the ship. Let's just say I had one heck of a view as I was slowly falling down to low grav planet. That is freaking hilarious. And it seems like it has actually happened to a few people as well. Now, Nation111 says it would be so cool if players could upload their ship designs with designated factions and or shipyards to then be downloaded by other players to their game as a purchasable ship option. So I have some interesting opinions on that and speculation about Starfield's future as a franchise. I think that's very likely they could do that in the future. Here's why. All right, so you look at PlayStation Studios, they have an umbrella of studios they can work with and interact with. All of them interact with each other, by the way. Now, Microsoft has purchased Bethesda, of course, and I imagine that they probably want to have that same mentality between all of their studios. One studio I think that has already done this, of course, is, yes, Playground Studios, which, of course, they work on Forza Horizon, and they can interact with Bethesda freely now, and they know how to actually work a system like that into games. So it would be very cool if in the future they can work with Bethesda Studios and actually bring us customized ship building and shareable ships with other players in a way like through a shop or something like that. An in-game shop, by the way, not a real money shop, of course. But that would be very, very cool because they already do that in Forza Horizon with, custom car designs and things like that. So that would actually be very, very cool to see in Starfield. Let me know if you guys want to see that sort of thing. Of course, you have to remember introducing that sort of concept, that sort of game feature also means the game would have to be online all the time, unless you could disable that feature and go offline. So that's the only worry, of course, is forcing the game to be online all the time. All right, so we also have this one right here. I have noticed when I first started playing the game in early access that it was very overwhelming and not much to explain the many features available. As I got further into the game, the better the game got as I understood the game. I say kudos for Bethesda, for a game I'm enjoying more and more the further into the game I have gotten. And I think it's part of understanding that players enjoy mystery. Not hand-holding too much, just enough. And Starfield has a balance between those two things, and I think they nailed it in some regards. All right, so there it is. Thank you all so much for watching, for all of the comments and the love and support on my videos. I really, really appreciate it. Stay tuned here for more Starfield news and updates. I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.